Have you ever heard of the woman whose math helped send humans to space, yet for years almost nobody knew her name? The genius of Katherine Johnson is one of the most incredible and inspiring stories in scientific history. Before we begin, do me a quick favor. If you love powerful true stories like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story that could completely change how you see history. Now let us begin. In 1962, the United States was locked in a fierce space race with the Soviet Union. Every calculation mattered. One small mistake could mean disaster for astronauts and millions of dollars lost. Computers were still new and not always trusted, but there was one person NASA trusted more than the machines. Her name was Katherine Johnson. She was the human computer. But what made Katherine Johnson so extraordinary? How did a woman born in a time of segregation become one of the most important mathematicians in space history? To understand her genius, we must go back to the beginning. Katherine Johnson was born in 1918 in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. From the moment she could speak, numbers fascinated her. While most children struggled with basic arithmetic, Katherine was solving complex problems in her head. Her teachers quickly realized something unusual was happening. She was not just good at math. She was operating at a level far beyond her age. By the age of 10, Katherine had already entered high school. Yes, 10 years old. By the age of 15, she was ready for college. Imagine that. While most teenagers were just beginning high school, Katherine Johnson was studying advanced mathematics at West Virginia State College. Professors soon built entire classes just for her because she was learning faster than the standard curriculum. One professor even said something remarkable about her. He predicted she would become a great research mathematician. And he was absolutely right. But the world Katherine lived in was not fair. This was a time of racial segregation in America. Opportunities for black women in science were almost non-existent. Still, Katherine refused to let the limitations of society define her future. Years later, in the 1950s, an opportunity appeared that would change her life forever. The National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which later became NASA, was hiring mathematicians. Many of them were women who performed complex calculations by hand. They were called human computers. Katherine Johnson joined the team. She did not just follow formulas. She understood them. While others completed calculations, Katherine asked deeper questions. She wanted to understand the geometry of spaceflight itself. She studied trajectories, angles, orbital paths, and re-entry calculations. These were not simple equations. They were the kinds of problems that determined whether astronauts lived or died. Then came one of the most critical missions in American history. NASA was preparing to send astronaut John Glenn into orbit around Earth. But there was a problem. The computers had calculated the flight trajectory, yet John Glenn himself was not completely confident in the numbers. He made a very unusual request. He said, "Get the girl to check the numbers." The girl he was talking about was Katherine Johnson. Think about that moment. A mission involving millions of dollars, national pride, and the life of an astronaut depended on one mathematician verifying the calculations. Katherine carefully went through every number, every equation, every trajectory. When she finished, she gave NASA the answer. The numbers were correct. Only then did John Glenn agree to launch. The mission was successful, and Glenn safely orbited the Earth. Katherine Johnson had just played a crucial role in one of the greatest achievements of the space race. But she did not stop there. Her work continued for decades. She calculated launch windows, emergency return paths, and lunar trajectories. Her math helped guide missions that eventually led to the Apollo program and the historic moon landing. Think about that. When humans first walked on the moon, some of the math that made it possible came from Katherine Johnson's mind. Yet for many years, her contributions remained largely unknown to the public. She simply did her work quietly, solving problems that most people could barely understand. Then decades later, the world finally began to learn her story. A book and later a film called Hidden Figures revealed the incredible contributions of black female mathematicians at NASA, including Katherine Johnson. Suddenly, millions of people realized that one of the key minds behind America's space achievements was a woman who had spent her life solving equations with unmatched precision. Recognition followed. In 2015, Katherine Johnson received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest honors in the United States. NASA even named a research facility after her. And yet, if you listen to interviews with her, she remained humble. She often said something very simple about her work. "I just did the math, but let us be honest, not everyone could do that math." Her ability to visualize complex space trajectories in her mind was extraordinary. She had the rare gift of turning impossible problems into solvable equations. That is true genius. Now here is something interesting that many people debate. Some historians say that if Katherine Johnson had not verified John Glenn calculations, the mission might have been delayed or even cancelled. Was Katherine Johnson simply one brilliant mathematician among many, or was she truly the hidden force that helped make human spaceflight possible? And if you enjoyed discovering the genius of Katherine Johnson, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss the next incredible story. Because history is full of hidden geniuses, and their stories are just waiting to be discovered.